Hi everyone. So we have discussed like in previous video how to prepare for the interview and also discussed like how to prepare a good resume that can be shortlisted. So now let's start today's video with the interview process. Like how does the interview process looks like if you haven't given any interview, so you might not have any idea like what happens once you are shortlisted and once your interviews are scheduled. So before starting that one, so I just wanted to connect one of the thing from the previous video for the interview preparation strategies. So I mentioned about couple of competitive programming platforms in previous video, but one platform that I forgot to include was InterviewBit. This is a very good platform, and I will say that you should at least visit this once before interview of any company. You will find some of the good questions and those will be helpful. So yeah, that's it for the previous video. Now let's start with this video. So interview process. So once like how does the interview process looks like? Like you are shortlisted, then what happens? So usually, like most of the company, if you are a fresher, so they will, or for experienced people as well, they ask for the OT like online test. They will give you one. They will share one of the link with you for one of the platform. Ideally, it is from the HackerRank, and there might be some questions and you need to solve them within the given frame of time. And there are a couple of limitations, like couple of uh, like they block the, you can't open the separate window and all those things to avoid the cheating and those things. So yeah, online test. So what does the online test looks like? So there might be one of the DSA question, uh, like it can be based on any topic which I already shared with you all in previous videos. And these questions will look similar to what you have solved on lead code or either on HackerRank or Gigs for Gigs, InterviewBit or any other platforms. And there might be 2 to 3 questions in one of the online tests, and you need to solve, like best cases you solve all of the required questions and get shortlisted within the given frame of time. Or like if there are 2 questions, then you are expected to solve at least one and half. By one and half I mean, like, let's say every question comes with some test cases, so you need to in at least one question you need to solve all the questions, all the test cases. You need to pass all the test cases, and in other questions, you if you are passing, if you are able to pass, let's say half of the test cases, then there are chances that you might get shortlisted, but it depends on the company to company. But yeah, then there is one trick. Let's say in some question you are stuck, like you know how to solve but you don't know how to write it, you know, basically the algorithm. So what you can do in such situation, like write an algorithm. So there are chances that if they are looking what you did and they find your algorithm correct, you might get shortlisted. I have really seen this one for D. So yeah, please please keep please keep take care of this one. Like DSO में तो like अब DSO के बारे में बताने की तो जरूरत नहीं. DSO is one of the best company. So yeah, and the second thing is like if there are 2 questions, or like in some of the companies they ask SQL based questions as well. Like they might ask you to write a SQL query for any problem, let's say join query or something. So yeah, and this is being asked in Amazon. I have seen it in Amazon, and some more companies ask these things. Then there might be a quant based question, like some kind of like distance based question, like basically the questions that we solve in quant, like based on distance formula or some other formulas. So yeah, those questions might be there, like MCQs. Goldman Sachs ask this kind of questions to freshers. So yeah, then there might be the questions from computer fundamentals, like there might be MCQs from C++ or Python or JavaScript or Java or whatever it is. So yeah, this is how the online test looks like. So basically for this one, there is no trick, just go for MCQs and all those, do as much as possible and you should be shortlisted. So yeah. That is it from the online test. And once you clear the online test, then the next thing is the on-site. So now most of the companies like after COVID are going for on-site or virtual interview. Like they might ask for the virtual interview like virtual interview or Zoom call or GVC or Teams or whatever platforms they are using. Then in on-site interviews, there are at most three rounds in on-site interviews, but sometimes there might be four rounds as well. Depends on, I mean, it varies from company to company. So yeah, that's it for the on-site interview. Like, let me just give you an idea. So first thing is like one of the important thing that I've seen I've seen people doesn't take care that much. So this is prepare an introduction about yourself, because this is the first question being asked in any of the round. Like they will ask you to introduce yourself. So prepare a well intro, and this will be asked in almost each of the round. Like there will be four round, three round, whatever the rounds are. They will ask this kind of question. Then usually if this is a round for any of the product based companies, so there will be a DSA problem based question. So they will give you a problem. They will not ask direct question on, let's say, sorting, or let's say on tree, or let's say on any of the problem that you have solved, let's say extra, but they will give you a problem which will be based on those algorithms which you already solved, which you already practiced. So there will be at most like not at most, but there might be two questions. There might be there might be one question as well. Depends on company to company. And what is the expectation out of this round? This is the most important thing. So they expect you to, first thing is like you read the problem, whatever the problem is been given, just read it, then clarify the doubts if there are any kind of questions that you have in mind after reading the problem, clarify them. Then if there are corner cases, let's say a question is based on some integer, then you can ask like whether it can go beyond the integer value, whether it can go in positive or negative, can be zero or not. So those kind of corner cases you need to cover. Then you need to do a dry run. Let's say once you understood the problem, so they might give, like in most of the companies I've seen, they give at least one test case and they show you like this is the input. Let's say 1 2 3 is the input, and let's say problem is based on some, and the output is 6. So this is what they might give you. So yeah, I mean this is just a sample, so don't consider this. Yeah, but then you need to do a dry run. Let's say you understand the problem, so you can do a dry run. Let's say if the input is 4 and 3, so output will be 7. So this kind of dry run you can do, like you can prepare some test cases. Let's say 10 to 20, not 10 to 20, sorry, 3 to 4 test cases. And those can be like, so suppose this was the problem given to you, so you can ask the clarifying questions can be, can this input be negative, then can this input go beyond integer, let's say integer range, let's say. Then zeros can be there if there is need, although zero doesn't matter, but yeah. So yeah, this kind of clarifying question you can ask, and this is how you can do a dry run. Then you can write an algorithm. I mean, this is again based on company to company, like whether they might ask you to write an algorithm, or they might ask you to write a running solution. But most of the companies ask to write a running solution. So yeah, that is what you need to do. And once you are done, like once you do a dry run, your cost solution is working, then they will ask you what is the time. They might ask you to a time complexity and space complexity. And if the time complexity is, let's say, O of n cube, O of n cube, oh, don't consider this. Sorry, O of n cube. Too difficult to write with this. And if the solution is possible in, let's say, O of n log n. So, okay, I'm not writing, but yeah, if the solution is possible in O of n log n, then they might ask you to optimize the solution. Then the other thing is like, and in the end of interview, you can ask one question to interviewer. That can be anything. I already mentioned this, what kind of questions can be asked. So yeah, please watch that video. Then this is the one thing. Then the other thing, like depends. This is again based on the company company, this may vary from company to company. So there might be some fit situation based questions and project discussions. If they have time, let's say if there is a 60-minute of interview and you are done with this in 30 minutes, so this kind of questions can be asked to you. Like they can discuss what projects you have worked on, what technologies you used, and all those things. They might ask some situation based questions. So situation based, like I will discuss this later. So yeah, then round two will be similar to the same one. The expectations are same. Then the project discussion might come. Then the third thing is third round. Like once you clear, like all of these are eliminating round. First thing is that. So important. Then the third round is the HR round. So basically, again, I'm saying that there might be one more round, one more extra round here. But for fresher, there will not be any system design round. So yeah, then the HR round. So in HR round again, this they might ask introduction will be there. Then fit based question, situation based question, like one of the question, like let's say you are leading a team and there is a conflict between two of the team, two employees. Then how will you solve them? Then they might ask some conflict based questions. They might have some project discussions. So all those things. So yeah, this is how the HR round looks like. And one of the tip for the HR round, like whenever there are some conflict based questions, so the tip is like do not avoid any kind of drama, and so that you can maturely handle the situation and create a win-win situation out of it. So yeah, this is what the expectation for each of the conflict based question. So this is all about like how the interview process looks like. And one more thing, like let's say if you are going for some service based companies or some other, or let's say you are not a fresher, so there might be a one extra round for system design, machine coding, or let's say you are working on Java or Spring Boot technologies, so they might ask questions from that. So yeah, this is all about today's video, like how do we prepare for the interview and how does the interview process looks like. So thank you all. Do let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.